Xerox. This is round 6 of the Vintage Challenge. This is not the final round of the Vintage Challenge because there are 79 players today. So the tournament will be 7 rounds. We're playing probably against a Xerox opponent. We have not the greatest PO hand, but I think a pretty reasonable hand in general. We got Force OL, we have a DT. This Remora should help against pretty much everything unless he shops us, which would be a little out of left field. People tend to play the same decks from week to week. Okay, Underground C. So Bug or PO. Still good in both of those cases. Ooh, a Grixis Pyromancer list maybe? Interesting. I'm actually just gonna force this. They're just gonna put us really far behind on board and make us unnecessarily clock. If we want to like stop them from going off, we really alright, so force back. That's fine. So they have 2 cards left. Their misstep is gone, so we have an extra chance of resolving this Remora. And we have Vault Key combo. So we should actually just go for that, probably. So this is turn 1 Key, turn 2 Demonic, turn 3 Vault. So we have to dodge shit off the top for 2 draw steps, plus any cantrips. That's kind of a big ask, I think. I think it's better to play Remora. And then next turn we can pay for Remora and play Key. I think this is a better play. It will also discourage Preordains, which increases the clock and helps them draw into things that hurt us. Looks like we're going to go straight in here. Is this going to be a Deathrite Shaman? That's a good one. All right, they have 1 card left. So I am going to pay for Remora here. That way we can have our Key come in. Okay, sure. I'm going to fetch another island so we don't get wastelanded. Next turn, we'll probably let the Remora go, and we'll cast Demonic Tutor, most likely. Gonna be real weak to Flusterstorm and a Force, but that's about it, really. I guess we're weak to something like an Abrupt Decay, or this is just a 4-color, like a Current control deck, probably. Fortunately, we're not very weak to Pyroblast at the moment. We are weak to an Ancient Grudge, though. Can't really beat an Ancient Grudge. Nice, we get to draw a card with our Remora. That should help us. If we can hit some mana sources, we can maybe get our way... Not that kind of mana sources, I mean Moxen. If we hit some Moxen, it would help us on our way to kill next turn instead. Let's see what they do with their Ponder, though. So they chose not to shuffle. So these are the cards they're going to try to win the game with. I'm going to let this Remora go. Fortunate. Oh, God, not a good draw. We've drawn very, very poorly here. Hopefully this resolves. Wow, Flusterstorm? That's super brutal. That's super, super brutal. It's going to be rough. We could have gone Night's Whisper, but that slows us down by another turn, unless we draw mana sources. Yeah. No, I think it's correct to jam in here. We're really far behind, but The main deck Flusterstorm is completely brutal. Still don't know how decks can afford to play main deck Flusterstorms when their shops exist in the metagame, but always comes back and gets me. That's good. Cool. So we're gonna probably need to draw it off the top. We go to 10 and then to 8 and then to 6 and then we're dead, probably. We probably don't have very much more time. So off the top would be nice. Mental Misstep, Pyroblast. Mental Misstep, huh? Completely brutal. So 5, we're not currently dead on board. So we can choose to crack fetch Night's Whisper, and then we would have to Night's Whisper into exactly Lotus plus Time Vault. Or we can pass the turn and just try to one more natural draw. As long as they don't draw a bolt, that's fine. Go for one natural draw for it. What if we did Lotus, Tinker? No. We hit Lotus. No. Play the 1 in 47 game. Alright, play the 1 in 47 game it is. This game was pretty rough. I thought we had a pretty good shot, actually, but the Flusterstorm was enough to cut the deal. We could have waited another turn, but we would have died, so... The clock that the Pyromancer put on was enough that we couldn't play around Fluster. They just drew Lightning Bolt anyways? Okay. Our top card was Tinker. Doesn't get the job done. Okay. This is I mean, we were playing the PO deck that, or at least the Vault Key PO deck that is better against these style decks. I'm gonna bring in Caracas. I'm gonna bring in Karn. I'm gonna take out Hercules and Opal. And Tinker Blightsteel. I'm pretty sure they play Dak Faden for sure. I mean, this is how we're supposed to. So how we're gonna board again. This deck's a little bit different than the last deck we played against. This deck gets to play Deathrite Shaman. Might play Leovolds and green cards. Black cards. Yeah, this is okay. I'm gonna go Island, Emerald, Mana Vault with Flusterstorm backup for Mental Misstep. Alright, no Mental Misstep, then I'm gonna Ponder. PO Force of Will is acceptable. To grab a force for now, and then next turn we'll PO for 2. Alright, we're not going to PO for 2 because they're holding up Fluster or Pyroblast. I'm actually going to jam out a Time Vault. We're not going to make a play this turn. It's unlikely we're going to be able to cast PO on the next turn. So I'd rather have my Time Vault in play so that my Paradoxical Outcome draws 3 cards. We can still contest a spell with Force of Will here. And then next turn we could cast spells with 2 Force of Wills. So... yeah, so that turned out to be the correct line. We're going to draw another Force of Will and pass the turn back because we're not going to play into their counter spells on our turn. We still can't play into one open island either, so thankfully we have double Force, which is going to be good. If we still don't really want a PO, it'd be better for us to draw like a Sapphire or another island so that we can hold up Flusterstorm. Don't want to jam this PO and have it get countered and then have no action and a tap Mana Vault. We really need the PO to resolve, so we should do everything we can to facilitate a position where the PO is going to resolve. They very clearly have a Flusterstorm or a Pyro or both, so... we can end of turn repeal there if we wanted to, which gets a little risky. Yeah. Not like they're getting card advantage over us, so it's not a big deal. They have hit all their land drops though. Gives them a really strong blue mana advantage. Don't really want to cast repeal at end of turn. If they have something like Ancient Grudge, it's pretty brutal for us. We're basically now in a really screwed up spot because they can just do nothing and we're just going to lose, so unfortunate, but... them hitting land drops every turn naturally is pretty unfortunate. They have a much stronger ability to play on our end step now than we have it on their end step. So. I am going to end step Brainstorm though. Not great. Top bottom. Got. We need to start putting together something. If we get ranched here with like a bunch of removal, then so be it. This could just be misstep as well. More than, like, the best thing that could happen for them is just gonna be Pyroblast. That's fine. I actually probably should have held this jet to up my Flusterstorm count for the turn I wanted to go off. That was a pretty big mistake. Wow, this hand now gets very interesting. So, only one card we won't end up getting. We need to have... I might just try to resolve this Karn instead. We need to have blue Flusterstorm mana. So we can just put back the Pearl then. I guess we can just put back the Ancestral, seeing as we're never casting it this turn. The problem with that is if I want to plus my Karn, I will then have to have the Ancestral there. So I'd rather go Pearl Karn. Oh, now they're gonna Ancient Grudge my thing. Yeah, that's pretty bad for me. I'm gonna try to overload their counter spells now. Alright, that resolved. Kind of changes things. But we weren't really looking at POing anyways, so I would like to plus once before minusing. I don't really want it to get bolted. He also has grudge, so there's really no point minusing. So they didn't give us force, they gave us pearl. We still don't have blue mana, obviously. But I still don't think we're supposed to make any plays here. What's this gonna be? Red mana? Lightning bolt? I mean, if our Karn gets double lightning bolted, what were we ever gonna do about it? Nothing really, so. I mean, we could definitely Flusterstorm there, but that's not really worth it. I guess they could have a Snapcaster here. I don't think I'm supposed to Flusterstorm that bolt. You could easily not have 2 bolts as well. There's really nothing else for them to put the bolt at, and it makes sense for them to put the bolt there if they can do another bolt. Like, well, maybe they do. Maybe they do have 2 bolts. No, Snapcaster, Dak Faden. I'm gonna counter a Dak Faden. I can currently pay for a Flusterstorm. I'm gonna fight all over that. That's a Pyroblast. Okay. I'm gonna use my Flusterstorm now. It's gonna be very hard for us to get Flusterstorms this game. So with the way our mana set up, it's gonna be hard for our Flusterstorm to do a lot of work. So if they keep going in on this, it makes our Ancestral more likely to resolve, which is nice. They're down to 4 cards. We're down to Ancestral. That's not too bad, actually. So this is a Flusterstorm. Then they get to Dak one of our things away. So this is going to be a Flusterstorm. Well, it's better than me having gone Ancestral and getting both my Force and my Ancestral flustered, so. Is it a Flusterstorm or not? What do we got? Maybe they want to preordain and they haven't let the stack resolve yet. Okay, so no Dak, which is good for us. 4 cards remaining. We can still play around a Flusterstorm. We can't beat a misstep, obviously, but. We're going to start taking damage from our Vault, but our Vault got a Karn into play, so it did its job. Let's draw a card. We know there's a Karn there. Let's... I actually think we're probably supposed to minus our Karn, even though they have an Ancient Grudge open. Let's plus our Karn. Really no point in grabbing now we have all our lands. There's really no point in grabbing a Force of Will. Alright, so right now I can't get Pyroblasted, so I'm going to try to jam this Ancestral. Can also pay for Fluster at the moment. They have a Misstep. That's awful. Misstep is so stupid! Ugh. Pretty tilting. So they can grudge something if they want. Grudge the Time Vault, that's fine. So let's see what their last 3 cards are. Probably Cruise and Dig Through Time, because that's how this matchup works. I feel like I'm at 40-60 every time I play any deck that has Mental Misstep and Pyroblast or Mental Misstep and Flusterstorm. Like, it's so hard to win. I mean, maybe I was just supposed to be playing the Storm variant. That's probably the big reason why. If I was playing the Storm variant, then I would have the ability to desire them or tendrils through things, but I don't know. It's just like sometimes metagaming Vintage is just You know, do you run into shops or not? Yeah, Gush into Cruise, up to 9 cards. Like, what? It's just so broken. It's so good. I mean, obviously, all the cards are restricted, so of course it's going to be broken. Okay, though. We got to play a lot of rounds of Magic today without getting completely annihilated by Xerox decks, so... And we'll still have, looks like, probably one winning in left, so... Oh no. Demonic Tutor? Yeah, alright. He had 9 cards and they weren't good enough for him. Had to go get another one. Maybe a Time Walk, maybe? Arnlick is good, but just doesn't do enough. Deathrite Shaman... Time Walk? No Time Walk? Interesting. Still don't really know how we're going to do the winning thing. Maybe it's time to just make golems and pray. Make golems and pray sounds like not a winning line, but none of the cards we currently have in exile are any good, and getting one of the top 2 cards when one can be a complete blank is like also fairly awful. Like if we go minus plus second Karn, it's not gonna be good enough. Not a chance in hell. We made a Tarmogoyf that dies to every artifact removal spell in the game. This might get bolted as well. Ancestral? Sure. 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 Yeah, back to 9 cards. I mean, they may be demonic for Ancestral. That doesn't really make any sense, though. I wouldn't demonic for Ancestral. I would demonic for Time Walk. Definitely would have demonic for Time Walk, I think. You have a card. You have like a hand of 7 other cards. Like, they can't all be bad. Problem with this line is also like, even if they don't have Ancient Grudge, they can just have Young Pyromancer plus spells, and we can't ever win with this line either. But I just don't think Plus Incarn is a line that does anything either, because there's always going to be, like, it's really hard to get 2 cards that matter from here. So I could have maybe... No, it's not nice. We're getting completely trounced by Xerox over and over again. So the last 2 rounds were just like complete Xerox doing Xerox things. The last opponent we played against had 3 Library of Alexandrias, 1 for each game, so pretty hard to win. We lost in 3 in that one, and it was fairly close, but this one hasn't felt remotely close. But I've always felt super far behind versus this 4-color deck. So any deck that plays Flusterstorms in the main is a pretty big favorite, I think, versus PO. Flusterstorms, Pyroblast, Spell Pierce, you know, the whole shebang. I think we're like maybe a 5%er to win this game, and then we just still have to win another game after that. So more than likely we'll go 4-2 and then have to win our last match to hopefully get in. Like that. Might not even. We might even miss. But we started 4-0, so... No, we probably even miss, actually. We could be a 5-2 that missed if we won. Yep, that's what we thought was going to happen. At least we didn't get Ancient Grudged, I guess. So, there's like no way my Karn resolves here. Grip Mine. Mental misstep. Yay. No mental misstep. Hold it. Why? Force is already. Ancestor's already gone. Yeah. Mental misstep. Can't get. So I should probably have preordained post combat. Unfortunately, that was a mistake. Definitely a mistake. Should have preordained post combat. This is going to go for. This is 7 damage, but I preordained pre-combat like a dummy. I don't think this is going to resolve. I find it highly unlikely they didn't find a force of will, but yep. So they have 4 cards, an active Pyromancer, Deathrite, and I have a pair of constructs. So we're pretty much a 0%er to win. Draw a PO, but probably never going to get to resolve it. Activate. He ate a land card? Does that mean they're dig through time? Snap Ancestral? Sure. Whatever. Who got it, fam? Who got it? So no matter what, we were never going to get a 7 in. They could have easily Snap Ancestraled in the middle of combat and made a token to block. Time Walk. Is that game? Probably. I still think they should have demonicked for Time Walk. So we get to play a Win and Hope round 7, unfortunately. Four color nonsense. Back fade in? Yeah, alright. I'm Gucci here. We had drawn Ancestral. Yeah, alright.